Okay. Log out and log in. Let me be problem. Just log out and come. மாலன் யார் இருக்கீங்க?
சொல்லுங்க சார். எஸ் சார்.
அந்த பொண்ணு ஸ்பீக்கர் இன்னைக்கு வந்து அன்மியூட் பண்ண முடியலன்னுச்சு. சரி லாக் அவுட் பண்ணிட்டு வர சொல்லியிருக்கேன்.
ஓகே.
வந்த பிறகு பாருங்க என்ன சார்.
ஓகே.
So there is no more problem. If there is no problem with the homology modeling, can we go with the docking part? In the log file of modeler, where do we find the parameters to select the best model? Actually, you have to use the dope score because there will be a dope score, am I right? You are seeing the dope score? Not having the... Okay, well, let the student join, scholar join, because they will be having all the files. Usually, we will use the dope score to choose the best model. Okay, and then of course you have to use the other statistical parameters like the Ramachandran plot, all those ERAD score, all those things we have to look and then compare. And of course, visually also we need to look into the things. Steve, can you hear? Unclick your mic.
ஹலோ சார், ஸ்பீக்கர் நீ அந்த லிங்க்ல வர சொல்லுங்க.
இந்த லிங்க்ல
லான்ச் ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸ் லான்ச்.
இல்ல ப்ராப்ளம் வந்து இல்லைன்னா லேப் இதுலேருந்து வர சொல்லட்டா?
ஓகே.
என்னோட லேப் ஐடியிலேருந்து ஸ்பீக் எனி ஹியர். இல்லை அதில் எதோ செட்டப்பில் ப்ராப்ளம் வந்து
செட்டிங்ஸ் ப்ராப்ளம் தான்.
Hello, still problem is there? Otherwise, you can use the lab account. Lab account from the lab account you log in. Yes, Swiss model, you were telling the Swiss modeler, am I right? Swiss model online, yeah, that's also good. But actually, Sandhya, am I right? So you need to try different software because these software like Modeler, Swiss model, or even Discover Studio that we can use for modeling, even the Schrodinger, all of them has a algorithm for modeling, okay? Some may use template based or ab initio methods or threading method. Different techniques are used, different algorithms are used for modeling the protein. Okay, you may have to use different method, try to generate the model and then compare the statistics. Check which model is working best for the protein because we will have different results. Then finally you have to analyze and then choose the one which is having best statistics. Okay, there's no universal software which will function better. Like morning, you saw that for the small molecule, Schrodinger was talking about their software for the pharmacophore model. Okay, and afternoon, Discovery Studio were talking about antibody-based design. Even the Schrodinger will have a similar kind of software for antibody-based design. Our small molecule also Discovery Studio is having. So you may have to you have to use multiple softwares to see which one is best for your purpose, what kind of design. Sometimes, for some case, one software will perform better than the other one. Eventually, you have to evaluate this thing experimentally. Okay, then only you will know which result is better. So if you have both of them, use both. But nothing like which is this one is better than that one. I think it's there like that. So case to case, you have to explore.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Everyone can see my screen, right?
You need to presentation mode. Can you go into presentation mode?
Is it fine?
No, Sri.
Okay.
First, put your PPT on presentation mode, then go and present it. So you are using PPT, or what you are going to do? Directly load the screen.
Yeah, I'm using the total screen I should share. Then only I can show them the softwares and other stuff. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to.
Actually, there is a query regarding the modeling part.
Okay.
They want to know where is our log files. Modeler, once we get the result, which model we are choosing best. Best model we'll choose based on the dope score and others.
Yeah.
Can you go back and show where your results get saved? Model 1, 2, 3, 4. You have the results, right?
No, sir. No.
Okay,
Because
okay,
I will tell you the way the models will be generated, the folder where you are trying to run the programs. So if you are trying to run it from the desktop, you have given a specific path from desktop saying that C:user and your particular folder name. Then you will be running mod.9 version. So you will be having that particular one in that particular folder. So all the models of .pdb files will be generated. So from the dope log file, you can see a specific number. It's like third model .003 is the best one, which we have seen yesterday. So that particular one will be in the .pdb format. You can see it in that particular folder where you have started your program to run. Is it clear?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, like yesterday we have tried like how the Autodoc and other softwares, like first we went through how to download a PDB ID, and how to use the PDB structures and other stuff. So we have used, if you remember, we have used this particular ID 3LPO. So this is P0. So this is the one which we tried using some how to extract a particular chain from PyMol and how to fix it from What If server. Till there it is clear for everyone, or should I need to repeat it from that particular one? Okay. Can I continue, right? Okay. I will just show you, like if you open PyMol, this is the one, right? So from PDB, we have downloaded a specific, like this is the specific protein of interest, which we have downloaded yesterday, that is 3LPO. So I'm trying to download that particular one. So once it has been downloaded, we try to open it. So here the option file, open, okay. So docking folder is there. So I have downloaded it. Okay, sorry. So this is the 3LPO dot.
1 minute, Sri. Someone is asking to summarize. Means summarize what? Kindly brief it, madam. Just revise. Surendra Gupta. So can you tell what you are asking to revise the PDB structure or what? Can you tell? You can see some comments.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he is asking to do. Brief regarding what? The PDB and the small molecule download.
Yes. I think so. That.
Voice breaking. No, it's fine for us. I'm hearing it properly. Just go ahead one more time with the protein download and then small molecule. Then you can go for your document.
Okay, so I have downloaded the specific protein of our interest and I tried to open it in PyMol. So here if you see down the sequence where we tried to select a specific chain. So if you select it, you can select it in this order like shift basis by selecting a particular one, or you can go in the build and residue like edit. So here is the option, like you will be saving whatever you want to save a particular chain. So export molecule, and anyhow here A chain is there. So we doesn't need anything to be so I'm selecting chain A dot PDB. PDB is a protein data bank format. So I'm saving it. So this is a chain A. So what I tried to do it here, like I tried to remove the water molecules, if you see, and a small molecule where it is consisting of 3 inhibitors, like 2 inhibitors where it is consisting of. So what we are trying to do in docking, like docking is basically a scoring technique where it has revolutionized the structural bioinformatics. So if you see here, I will show like whatever the docking software we are using. So first we try to download the Autodock tools. Right, this is the one, and we have downloaded the MGL tools. So this is what we try to send it in the mail in a zip format. Once you unzip it, you will be able to see these all things, and you can run as an administrator, and you can further proceed as the tool. Once get installed, you will get like this Autodock tool, CAD and PMV. Okay, so still if you are facing any problem in the installation, my colleagues will help you out if you give your AnyDesk ID. Okay, so from here onwards, I'll be starting. Once I have done the installation, I have opened this particular Autodock one application. So once you open up this particular application, you will see a graphical view of this particular one. So this is the one where you can load your protein and you can load your ligand, and you can generate the grid. So what you need to do in a docking? So minimum basic steps, like there are 4 steps you need to proceed when you are doing docking. One is protein preparation, one is ligand preparation, and one is grid preparation and docking. So these are the 4 steps you need to prepare. If it is a commercial software or non-commercial software, you need to proceed the same steps, but with little bit different parameters and graphical representation. Graphical view would be different for individual software. So this is what the 4 steps it is consisting of. So now I'll be continuing with the first step, then we'll proceed with till docking, and further we'll move for analysis. So I have opened the Autodock. So first, when we open, there is a one directory in my desktop. So if you see this, I have kept here docking, right? So here, whatever I need, the files like particular one, chain A, fixed, and ligand. So these are the one, and these are the applications which I need for the process of a particular docking. So I am open that particular the one. I will try to set preferences for that, so that it always goes, the result will go to that particular directory and it will try to save it there. So what you need to do, whatever docking you have opened, you just click on here, Control C, the path you are seeing, right? C users, this is my path, and desktop and docking. So I am trying to save it here, paste it over here. So this is the what path. I'm telling set it and make this particular path default. Okay, then I am trying to close. Now I will try to open a macromolecule or a protein or a macromolecule or a protein or a fixed one, whichever name you give, but these three are the one which we try to do it in a process. So I am trying to take the chain A, which I have fixed. So chain A, open. Once I have opened this particular protein or macromolecule, now I am trying to, there are some parameters for doing docking. So in protein, when we try to add, we need to add some charges and we need to add hydrogen and we need to assign some atom types. So first we'll do one by one step. We'll go for edit, where hydrogens we will add. So hydrogens, add. So if you see here, there are many options like polar only. So why? Because it will add for the electronegative atoms of a particular protein. So we'll be clicking OK, so that all the hydrogens are added over here. So next step is edit charges. Add Coleman charges. If you see here, there are many options like add Coleman charges, compute Gastrier charges, right? So why only we should add Coleman charges? Why not Gastrier charges for a macromolecule? So actually we'll add a Coleman charges in such a way that a protein already it has some template values. This particular script of Autodock, they have written in such a way that they have calculated from quantum mechanics of a particular amino acid electrostatic potential, and they try to give some value of a template value. So if you try to add the Coleman charges, then you will be getting a calculated charges for this particular set of macromolecule. So now I am saving it. Okay. Now edit. Now I am going to assign atom ADF4 type. AD4 type is nothing but Autodock 4 type, where for a particular software, you need to assign some of the parameters so that the program will run for a particular docking set. So I am assign AD4 type. Now it's done. So these are the things we have to do. So first I will tell we need to add hydrogens, add polar only, and add charges, Coleman charges, and atoms assign AD4 type. So till here, after that, we'll go file, save, write PDB QT. So write PDB QT is nothing but whatever we have added now, like charge and atom type. So QT is representing that, and PDB is the one which we are already have done. So chain A dot PDB QT. So I'm saving this particular protein in this particular format. Okay, I have saved it. Till here, anyone has doubt? Everyone is clear with protein preparation? Or should I need to repeat it? Or if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, should I need to continue then further for ligand preparation? Okay, now I have done the protein preparation, so I doesn't need a this one. Now I need for a ligand preparation, so I will be importing the ligand file. So I have what I did. I have right clicked here and I deleted this. So this part, whatever we have done, it is deleted, but the file whatever .pdbqt, it has been saved. Okay, so now I am going to import the ligand. You are seeing here the option ligand, right? Ligand, input, open. So if you see here, or the ligand file, ligand.pdb file. So open. So once I open up ligand file, there is a pop-up has come telling that you need to add Gastrier charges. So Gastrier charges means it is specific for a small molecule where you will be adding a particular equilibrium of electronegativity equilibration will occur for a particular small molecule. So for that sake, you will be adding charges, compute Gastrier charges. So once you add the Gastrier charges, the value has been calculated. Okay. Next, ligand, torsion T, detect route. This is the one which will help out not in moving in the flexibility way of a particular ligand preparation one. So this is the one we need to proceed. After that, ligand output save as PDBQT. The same one which we have given the charge and we are assigning dot PDBQT. Okay, now we are done with protein preparation, ligand preparation. So if you see, we are done with protein preparation, ligand preparation. Now we need to go with grid preparation. So grid, what do you mean by grid means? The grid, it is, if you see a grid, okay, I will just show you the option like why we need to set up a grid for a particular protein. Is it compulsory to set up a grid for a protein, or we can set up for a whole protein, or we should set up only for a specific residues? So it depends upon how you need it. But if you set up a grid, so if you see here for a protein, I will just show. Okay, grid. If you see a grid box, you are seeing it right here. The one which I am have opened it up. So this grid box, what it will do, if we are specifically interested to dock only in the active site, so it goes and dock in a specific active site. So whatever active site residues we are providing, it should go inside this particular grid box. So we should arrange it in a such a way grid box that all the residues whatever we are selecting, it should be inside that. Okay, so and if you want to do for the blind docking, you can go that also. But today we are going for a specific active site residues where we are doing it. So now I'll just close it just for your demonstration. I told like how the grid looks and why we are need to do it for a protein. So if I show you like yesterday we have seen like there are some residues, like if you see that 3LPO, this particular one, if I click on this, it is having some inhibitors, right? So this is a 2D diagram where you will get the 3D ligand interactions. So here, if you click on this 3D interactions, you'll be coming to know like what are the residues it is interacting, and this is the active site for a particular 3LPO PDB ID of this HIV one. So what we are trying to do, we are taking this delaviridine such that this is also an inhibitor, okay, for treating HIV, and it is an approved drug. So how much the score we will be getting for this, so that we can compare with the standard this one and that thing. So we need to compare in such a way that the scores, whatever the binding scores we are getting, so is it a better efficient compared to the previous one? So in that way we should proceed our docking. So I will be showing like these are the active site residues where we are trying to do docking, and we will generate grid over here these particular active sites residues. Now if you see here down, you are seeing like tyrosine 191, and these are the residues, right? So I will be selecting those particular residues in the Autodock panel. So now I will be importing the macromolecule, and I will be further doing it. Okay, there is an option grid macromolecule open. So chain A.PDBQT, which I have saved it for a protein preparation. And I'm loading it here, my ligand also. Go to grid, set map types, open ligand. Ligand.pdbqt, open. So now I have opened the both the macromolecule and the ligand. So what we need to do, we need to select a specified residues, whatever we have seen for a non-inhibitor. In that protein crystallization, we have seen that inhibitor is there. So those residues we'll try to pick it up. Okay. So now I'll be selecting those particular residues. See what I did. I went near chain A. This triangle symbol, I tried to pop it down. So once it is done, it is showing that you have only A chain. If I click again down on that click, these are the residues. It is showing up. And if you see here, these are ball and stick model, cartoon model, and other things. So I will try to toggle the specified residues which are of our interest. Okay. So now I'll be clicking on the specified residues. So our residue is starting from so 229. So if I try to bobble it, cartoon, if I try to do it, here the representation of that particular residue will be changing. One more is 234 and 318. So if you see here, whatever residues I have taken, it's almost in near whatever the active site region, like it's moving, it's near surrounded by these particular residues. So I will be generating a grid box for this particular size. So what I will do, I will go to grid box. I'll be clicking on that. If you see the grid is here, right? So I will be moving the dimensions so that whatever residues we have selected, it should be inside that particular grid box. Okay. So I will be changing the dimensions so that it should move here. You are seeing, right? The box is the residues are entering inside the box. So I'm moving the box in a particular way so that all the residues should be inside that particular box. So if you see here, all the residues, whatever we have tried to select it, it's inside that particular box. Right. So now I'll be saving this session file, close saving current. Okay. I'm done with this. Now, whatever I have given this grid parameters, right? Like it should be in x-axis this particular and y-axis this one. So that should be saved. So I'm going to grid output save GPF file. That is nothing but grid parameter file. So once this grid has been generated, so what we will do, we'll try to run the grid file now. We have saved that parameter, so we need to give that thing for generating the grid. So I'm running that parameter file now. Okay, I have deleted the one. So if you go to run, you go to run auto grid option will be there. So here if you see that one, the program name is auto grid, and now I'm browsing this one. So my folder is on desktop, so I'm specifying this particular application open. So .exe file has been opened. Now I'm same way I'm opening grid.gpf file open. So it will, the output file will be generated based on grid log file. So I'm launching this one. So once you are done, you'll be seeing this particular whatever pop-up has come, it will go, and you will see here successful completion. Till here, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. So now you have seen, right? Here's successful completion.
Ma'am?
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, would you once again explain the part like where you actually import the macromolecule before the ligand? After you save in the PDBQT, you will again, you showed, no ma'am, import macromolecules, that folder.
Okay, grid macromolecule open. Yeah, this is the one.
Okay.
See, actually, there are 4 steps. Okay, first one, I tried to import it in this way: file import macromolecule.
Okay.
So after that, I tried to save it in .pdbqt. Okay. After that, I have tried to import the ligand open. Then I have tried to save it in .pdbqt format. Okay. Now after that, I'm trying to do the grid process. For that, I'm opening in the grid panel itself, grid macromolecule open. After that, set map types open ligand.
So this macromolecule, when you open, it will be the protein.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I told. Protein macromolecule. It's a similar one. That's what
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, now we have completed successful completion, so that the grid has been generated. Now further, what we need to do, the last step which we need to proceed is a docking one. So for docking, how we have generated the grid parameter file, that is GPF file, right? Grid.gpf. So in the same way, we need to generate for the docking. So doc.dpf file we need to generate. So we'll go to docking. Okay, macromolecule. Set rigid file name. So here we'll open the protein .pdbqt. So after that we'll open ligand open, then ligand.pdbqt. So here you won't be seeing a protein, you will only see the ligand in the 3D viewer. Okay, this what it is doing, it is generating the conformers. Okay, so it's telling like your particular ligand molecule is this and these are the random whatever, and it's tying whatever I'm trying to run, I'm keeping all the default one and I'm just accepting it. So once I have done this one, I will be using here search parameters. Okay, search parameters. If you see here, genetic algorithm, simulated annealing, and local search parameter. So why only genetic algorithm? I'm choosing genetic algorithm because from many population, you will be able to see solve the problem in in a single way. And whereas simulated annealing, you will be having the single problem and you need to sort it. Whereas in genetic algorithm, the exploration will be more and you will be getting the best least energy binding conformation mode. So that's what I am choosing this one, docking search parameters genetic algorithm. So if for time being in my system, I'm running it for 3 runs. Okay, you people try to run it for 10 or maximum more than that, like 50 also, depending upon how accurate you need the result of the different conformations. So for our time limit, I'm just constraining it to only 3 and I'm accepting it. Okay, once I have done this one, I have now I have done this search parameters. I have selected genetic algorithm. Now I will be saving this output file as Lamarckian genetic algorithm. So this is the one, doc.dpf. Till here, everyone is clear. What I did, I have till grid after that, grid I have generated. I have run after that successful completion has come. So now I need to do a docking with a protein that is nothing but a macromolecule and a ligand, right? So what I am trying to do, I am trying to open the macromolecule docking macromolecule set rigid file name. Then in the same one, docking ligand open. Then after that, I'm trying to tell like you need to use this particular parameter that is genetic algorithm. And after that, I'm telling like you save this particular file in this particular format, that is Lamarckian genetic algorithm, which I have saved as doc.dpf file. Okay, so now I'll run autodoc. I'm browsing that particular autodoc.exe application, open. Next, I'm opening doc.dpf file. Then automatically the log file will be generated. I'm launching this particular program. You have any doubts till here? Like any running or anything regarding docking? So this will take more than 5 minutes because I have given that steps only for 3. So I'll be getting 3 confirmations minimum. It will take time based on the steps and on the system RAM it will run. So
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes, tell me.
Ma'am, when we do docking using Pyrex graphical user interface,
Yes,
it converts the PDB to PDB-QT. It converts things automatically. So, is there a quality difference in the output, in the result, when comparing with Autodoc 4.2 and Pyrex? Which will be better, ma'am?
No,
Which
actually, if you see, Autodoc is the one where you will be using single molecule and a single ligand, right? Whereas in Pyrex, you can use a multiple ligands. It's after this it has been done. So Autodoc Vina, that whatever you are telling, it is an inbuilt. Pyrex is the inbuilt of Autodoc Vina. So if you see here, some of the applications you can see run Autodoc Vina also. So where you will be running the libraries, a result variation won't be that much because almost it will be a similar only. The program is the of Autodoc itself. Pyrex is also.
Okay.
That's a graphical interface. That's it.
Okay, so even we can use Pyrex for publications also.
Yeah, you can go ahead for Pyrex. Yeah, if you have a very large library, it will automatically convert in one step everything. That's what when you start using non-commercial to commercial software. If you see the non-commercial software, it's also like from Autodoc to Autodoc Vina to Pyrex. Now it has come in a single stretch. Like you can directly submit in some web servers, right? So you can proceed in whichever way you need if based upon your problem. Like if you have many libraries you need to stream, you need to go for a Pyrex. You can't go for Autodoc. Yeah, that's the thing.
Thank you.
See, if we see here Autodoc 4, whatever, successful completion. You may ask here like why warning has been come in docking parameter file. It's a, how to say, if you have any problem in the protein, like one residue is missing or anything. So due to that you may get, or due to the file, like if you try to save the file, by spacing also you will be getting it. In my case, I didn't do any spacing. So the problem is in when after crystallization, what if also will fix only some of the residues, but it won't be fixing all of them. So you need to fix whole protein and further you need to proceed for a docking. Okay, now I'm done with Autodoc successful completion. So I have completed the 4 steps. If you see protein preparation, ligand preparation, grid preparation, docking. So now I'll try to do analysis, like if what is the best conformation we have got and how to do further analysis of that particular one. So I will go to analyze option. See, if you see here clearly, there is nothing tough in this. Just the options, whatever you are seeing, it's easy and flexible one. So once you see here, we have run it. So now we are using analyze. So if you open analyze, dockings open. So what we need to open here, doc.dlg file. This is the output file which we have generated. So if you see here, the pop-up has come like analyze conformations, play to view. Okay. Now I will try to go for analyze macromolecule open. Okay, so now first I will try to show like conformations play so that we will see like how many what is the score of that particular conformation. If you see here, this pop-up has come, right? This is showing like first one, and this is the one opens panel to change play options. You need to click on that. Okay. Once you click on that, another pop-up comes like window saying that set play options. If you see here, show info. Okay. So the first confirmation is my binding energy is minus 5.12. The more negative, the better the dogged score. So if you see this one minus 5.12, and these are the ones output results like ligand efficiency. So mostly we will be looking at the binding energy and will be further proceeding for which of the molecule to be chosen. Okay. So here if you see build hydrogen bonds. So in the first confirmation, we are not seeing any hydrogen bonds. So let's move to the second confirmation. So second confirmation is minus 4.05. So this is the one compared to the first confirmation, this is not that much good because the score is minus 4. That one was minus 5. Let's see the third confirmation. So this is minus 4.94. So if you we want to save the first confirmation, which we have got good dog score. So I'm keeping that first confirmation and I'm trying to write complex. Okay. So I will save that particular confirmation. Protein ligand, there is nothing but a complex which we have done. Okay, I will keep dogged complex. Dot PDBQT. I am saving it now. So once this is done, there are many options, and again I will tell like if you here you can't see graphical representation for making that particular one. So I will show you in PyMol like how to see the sites and other things. So go to analyze. Here one more option is there, clustering. So show clustering. So here actually I have given only 3 confirmations. That's the issue. It has been not given that many hydrogen bonds and other things. So that's what you generate as many confirmations as, so that you will get a best confirmation from that and the best binding score. So this is the one which is of minus 5.25, which we have chosen for the first confirmation. So it will try to give as many bars for if you generate the different confirmations. Okay, you can do analysis over here also, and you can further from that analysis you can choose like, okay, this is the one, it is correct, means it is making more confirmations this particular score, so I will take this one itself. So you can finalize in that way. I'm closing this one. So what I did, I went there, I have docking, show interactions I have shown. See, that's what here the graphical view is not that good. So I will show this one in same in PyMol itself. So if you see here, this whatever surface view you are seeing, that is a ligand, and whatever you are seeing, these are the interactions. So I will show you the same one which I have done trial run for giving many genetic runs. So I will just show you that result so that we will see how the hydrogen bonds are there and other stuff. Okay, I will show you that. In this case, we are not seeing. So if you start seeing here, there are many confirmations I have generated. So see, I'm trying to change that one by one. So you will be seeing that score. So this is the one I have generated 4 confirmations, almost 10 confirmations for this one. So I will show you like how to see clustering in this one. So if you see here, you are able to see, right? These are the -6 score. It is there, and -4 it is there, and -2 minus. So from this, what you will be coming to know, like -4 1, which is having many times it has been generated that particular confirmation, right? So if you see the left column, the confirmations, and down x-axis, if you see the score, and that is binding energy score, and at y-axis, if you see the confirmation. So from this, you will come to know, like, okay, I can choose the -4, which is can both do analysis. You can't do the analysis for all the 50 complexes when you try to run it. So from this, you can do analysis like whichever I need to take a specific one, and you can further proceed it with 5 or 10 like that. So I'm just closing it. Till here, everyone is clear, or should I need to repeat anything? Okay, I'm proceeding. So closing this one. So now I will try to show like docking, show interactions. Yeah, I'm showing the 9th confirmation. If you see, you are able to see here something green, which is of 1.94 angstroms. I'm trying to increase that so that you can see the more bulkier, right? These are the interactions. So you will be knowing like lysine is making one interaction with the ligand and proline is making. So this, whatever this green lines it is showing, this is the one which I try to increase the size. Now I'm reducing it. So these are the hydrogen bonds interactions we are making. We are showing it from the docking. If you generate more confirmations, I got it from this. Whatever I have run before 3 genetic run, same structure, same small molecule, but I have generated for the 10 conformers. That's it. So this is the one, and these are the hydrogen bonds you are seeing, right? This thing. So these are the ones. So if you try to see different conformations, you will be able to know the things. So in this also one is there. In the 7th conformation, one hydrogen bond is formed. See here, it's here. So you need to do analysis like that, and you can make note it down if there is any key interaction, which is for the standard molecule, whatever native ligand is interacting. So whatever dogged one now you have done, is it making the same interaction? Then you can think like, okay, this is the one which is making a key interaction with that particular small molecule. So this is what the analysis. So I will just show you like how to visualize in PyMol also of that particular complex. For if any publication purpose or anything, you can do it in PyMol because the graphical view will be good. So I'm saving this one. Go to file, save, write.pdbqt. So I want to save the 9th confirmation where it was making too many hydrogen bonds. 9th and 8th. file, save, write.pdbqt. This current selection contain more than one molecule. Okay. Okay, I think some issue is there. I'm not able to save this one because it's telling more than one selection. So already whatever I have saved, I will just show you that one. Like I tried to open the macromolecule and ligand, whatever I have saved for the particular one. You go here, all preset ligand sites. You can get it over here, the hydrogen bond interactions. You are seeing it right here. This is the one. So you can highlight it, this particular residue by selection. So you can see this one and you can make that as a ball and stick model. So this is a tyrosine 181. Did we do that one? Yeah, we have given 188. 181 also we have given. That is the active site residue. So I will, that is the key interaction it is making out there. So you can do the analysis like this and further you can make it in a publication mode of this one. So this is the one. That's what, if you want to show the ligand sites and you want to save it, you can go here and ligand sites you can do. If you do that, you will be knowing the residue and this particular molecule. That's it. If you have any doubts, you can ask.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, Pyrex is comparatively user-friendly than Autodoc, but
Yes.
still people use Autodoc exclusively. So is there any superiority or any benefits while using Autodoc which we don't get in Pyrex?
Means actually like analysis part from Pyrex, you will be getting an output file. Then your analysis part, you won't be clear in Pyrex as compared to Autodoc. Like I just showed you this part, right? So compared
Yes.
to this analysis, again, the PyMol will be good. So I think analysis part won't be that good compared to Autodoc. That is the only thing. And I think one more is like whatever we are giving individually, like we are assigning everything, charges, hydrogens. So in all others, just one single click, you can proceed it. So
Yes.
that is also, so for knowing like basic how you will doing the docking for that particular one, basic steps you will be knowing, like individual how you will be running this one.
Okay.
I'm
Madam,
think that is the only reason, but I'm not sure like compulsory that is the only reason.
okay. We can get to know all the steps involved.
Yeah,
When we
yeah,
use
yeah. If you use Autodoc, you will be knowing individual steps, like you'll be adding charges and other things. Whereas if you see in the morning session Schrodinger or anything, with single window you can just click OK and you can proceed it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
usage.
And regarding analysis,
Yes.
from Pyrex we get the ligand output file and also the PDB-QT format of the protein. And
Yes.
when we open these two in PyMol and save it as a complex,
Yes.
and we can
Yes.
use the DS visualizer for analysis.
Yeah, Discovery Studio
Okay.
Visualizer you should use. Yes.
Oh, so is that okay? Is that process okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That is correct. You can go on like that also.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone has any doubts regarding homology modeling or whatever, like yesterday's session, today's session? If I'm not clear in any step, you can ask me.
Oh,
Hello,
excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. I have
Yes.
one doubt regarding this. Yesterday you said that if we have a mutation in the protein, we can check the wild type and we can go for docking. You can clarify this one, ma'am, once again.
See, if you have one protein which is of wild type and mutated, so the wild type one you have done docking, you have got some score, right? So whatever the mutated one, is it really influencing that particular whatever the wild type you have used? So first what we need to do docking for the wild type and the mutated one and check the scores and what is the key residue which is interacting with in the wild type, is that one which is helping out in the mutated one. You can proceed in that way actually. If I'm not clear, my guide will help you out. I'm not
Vani.
Yes, sir.
So when you talk about mutation, so we will always compare with the wild type and mutant. Like for example, if you remember the morning that session about Dr. Shea from Taiwan, he was talking about EGFR mutants. Okay.
Yes.
So what happens is, in this case, EGFR wild type is normally expressed. It's essential for cellular function. Okay. But in lung cancer, several mutants are expressed, and that leads to cancer. So one of them is what they call as, I think it's a double mutant they call, where threonine gets mutated to isoleucine. Okay. So this mutation and several other mutations are responsible for the cancer. So when they design the drug molecule for this, basically wild type has a normal function. The mutant one is the oncogene,
Yes.
which is leading to cancer. So you have to design a molecule which will bind with the wild type, but the molecule should not bind with the wild type to activate it or inhibit it. Okay. At the same time, it should be able to bind with your mutant.
Okay.
So, like if you remember, he showed some data where finally that the molecule that they are designed actually binds more specifically to the mutants, not to the wild type. Because if you are going to inhibit the wild type, it's going to lead to side effects. So so he showed some already existing apatinib, which is there in the market. The selectivity was not good, but their compound is very selective. It's not inhibiting the wild type, but mutants is inhibiting. So if that is the case, first thing you have to see is whether the mutation has an effect on the disease. Okay, because if it's in the active site, then that is going to affect how the ligand molecule is binding with the protein. If it is in some other place, maybe it's not going to affect how the ligand molecule goes and binds with the target. So first determine what mutation you are telling, whether it's relevant for the binding of substrate or the inhibitor. Once you find that, even if you have in your PDB only the wild type, you take the wild type, you know at what position the mutation is there. Either you can take the PDB structure you can use softwares to do the mutation manually. If suppose you know that threonine gets mutated to isoleucine, just change the residue. Okay, and then you can optimize the structure. Maybe using Swiss model or modeler, you can do the optimization and use it. Or you can go for homology modeling itself. You will have the complete sequence. You just change whatever residue you want or whatever mutants, and then you can go use the wild type as a template, build a new model. That is an alternative way. But you should know what the mutation is doing. In all the computational part, first thing, remember, you should understand the biology component.
Yes.
When you talk about pattern, you should understand the biology component. You should know about the chemistry component. What ligand you are using, what kind of functional group it is having, where we can do the modification. So that insight should be available with the researcher. The software is not going to give you this kind of ideas. Okay, so you should know what the mutation, where the mutation, whether it's in the active site. If it's in the active site, then it's going to affect the ligand binding.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I understood this thing.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Other questions are there? Because,
Sir?
yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I have a doubt. Like if my protein will be isoform from the original protein, if I'm taking isoform, I'm doing a docking. How should I do, sir? Because I'm not getting the ID for the isoform.
So if you are not getting the PDB ID, you can go and construct. Because when you say for isoform, like say for example, Aurora A, Aurora B, tennis, they're quite similar. Okay, so those kind of isoforms you are talking about, right? So if you don't have a crystal structure, you can go and do the homology bond for the other form.
Sir,
If one form is available, you can use the. That's what you have to go into the blast, see which sequence is matching.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So sometimes if you are modeling the human protein, okay, sometimes your template may not be human. It may be say a rat or other organism may be available, but minimum like 30% similarity, sequence similarity should be there. That is one criteria that you should always keep in mind when you use the template-based modeling, that is homology modeling. Or you can go for other kind of modeling like ITASR or ab initio method, which uses a different kind of algorithms to build the homology, the models.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I will look into it. Thank you, sir.
So did anyone try to run the homology modeling like after attending this session? I want to know, because unless otherwise you execute the software and see, then only you will realize what kind of problems are there. Okay. So either the homology modeling, the modeler or the Autodoc, you should try to run so that if you face any problem, you can just send a screenshot. Okay. Maybe now itself you can do, or later also, even when the workshop is over after the conference, if you face any kind of problem, with what is the problem you are facing, make a screenshot, describe it, and you can send a query to us. Okay. We will be happy to help you. Can you answer the question?
Yes. Faisal has asked, like, sir, homology modeling, we can use Ramachandran plot for validation. Can we use the same for the other type of model generations like ITASN? Yes, you can use it. See, Ramachandran plot is a validation where you will be seeing the allowed region and the disallowed region of the particular residues. So if you really have the loops in that structure, you need to fix it. And if you do that, again, if you try to do Ramachandran plot, whatever you have fixed, it should be in the allowed region. So that's a validation tool for the protein, like how the secondary structure is. I think I have answered this. Is it correct? Whatever you need it. Okay. Still anything more? More questions?
So if no more question, I think we can end the session. Tomorrow we will go into simulation. Okay. So simulation will be only demo. Okay. Maybe it will be difficult because you need the Linux system. If you have a Linux system instead of Windows, then you can install the software and run it. Or you should have a virtual box. If you have installed a virtual box, you can run the Linux environment into that, and then you can run the GROMACS software. Not on Windows. Okay. So if you don't have any more questions, I think we can log out, I think. And tomorrow morning, I remember that tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, we have a session. Actually, Professor Siddhappa Reddy, he is from US. Okay. And it is almost like night. I think it's like 11 o'clock for him. So be on time.